Well, it happened on November 11th. They announced not one, not two, not even three, but 4 brand new free DLC characters for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Hello everyone, I'm OCDsaster, and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel where everything we do here is Sonic related. So if that sounds like something your speed, consider subscribing and checking out some other videos after this one. So, not to bury the lead, what are the characters that were announced as free DLC for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? One character many people called because they actually showed them off in the box art on the back of the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds physical copy, and that would be Knights. Knights has been in multiple Sonic and Sega racing games, either as a vehicle or as a character, so it's nice to see them return again in this game. It's kind of a main staple at this point. Next, we have another iconic Sega character that's been in multiple Sonic and Sega racing games, and that would be II from Super Monkey Ball, and he has a new look to my knowledge. I'm not a huge Super Monkey Ball fan, so you can correct me if this has been a running look for him, but to me this is a brand new design, and I think it's absolutely adorable, and I love him in those cute little overalls that he has. So these two were kind of, alluded to either through box art or just people making an educated guess. I even guessed AI myself when I did a previous video on the free DLC for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and you all completely clowned on me for some of my picks, which I understand most definitely now, and we'll be updating that once we get through this announcement. The next character as free DLC that we got announced for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is none other than 2 other characters. Yes, that's right. They announced 2 characters for the 3rd slot, and that would be Whisper and Tangle from the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds comic, I believe, which a lot of you mentioned in my previous free DLC video that I mentioned. I didn't read the comics. I'm not very versed in the other outside Sonic media, so that was new to me, but a lot of you said, yeah, it's definitely going to be Tangle, but it looks like Tangle and Whisper are both coming in packaged together as DLC for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. And I checked on Twitter, and Sonic Twitter is losing their absolute minds over these characters getting in, because this also kind of shows that they're going not just for Sega properties for these free DLC characters, but they're also going for these obscure Sonic beloved characters that aren't necessarily from the video games but can be from other sorts of media. So Pandora's box has basically been opened, because I believe, based off of the website, we will still have 6 other free DLC to come at later dates. I would also like to mention that Knights will be coming out at the end of this year, whereas the other characters will be coming out in 2026. So they are trickling out these characters at a moderate pace, along with those other third-party DLC racers that you have to purchase. But once again, these 4 are free DLC. You do not have to spend a penny to get them, which I think is really cool. So first, I want you to comment down below on whether or not you are excited for these free DLC characters, specifically Whisper and Tangle. Are you one of those people that are just jumping up and down and screaming? I personally don't have any attachment to the characters, but that's not a bad thing. I'm very excited and happy for everyone else that enjoys them. I do like that Knights and II will be a part of this roster, but once again, those were a little bit more predictable. I want to speculate more on what free DLC characters we could possibly be getting in the upcoming new year, but I have a question. Does Whisper and Tangle count as one slot? Because then instead of having 6 characters left for free DLC, we actually have 7. So that complicates things a little bit, because I want to speculate without any merit or evidence on what some other free DLC characters could be and release schedules, but this kind of complicates things. So it's definitely going to date this video once we get more information, because my theory was we were going to get these characters in early 2026, and then we were going to get 2 to 3 DLC characters at the end of 2026, so towards the summer, and then in 2027 get the remaining characters for free DLC. So that's kind of what I was thinking as a release schedule, but now I'm not quite sure. These seem to go on a few month basis within that year, So we'll just have to wait and see on that, and you guys will have to let me know your theories down below. But now it's time for the juicy part. Now we get to speculate again on what type of free DLC characters we can get. Now once again, this is not really a pattern yet. We can't really predict what's going to be next, but I'm just going to try to shoot for the fences here. We got 2 Sega property characters that are both retro and, you know, a little bit more common in the Sega sphere of it all. And then we got an obscure pick from Sonic media outside of the video games. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, they're going to kind of do the same thing for the next few characters. We're going to get some Sega characters, and then we're going to go back and get some Sonic characters, whether they be from comics, TV shows, or video games. I think we could potentially see Alex Kidd as the next Sega representation for free DLC. He has been in multiple Sonic racing games and Sega racing games, so he could be making a return, along with Ooh La La, who is from the Space Channel 5 video games. It's older, it's retro, but a lot of people are very fond of that game. So it does make sense if those two do come back as DLC for this game. Picking a obscure, outside of video game media Sonic character is like throwing spaghetti at a wall. You're just got so much random odds of getting it right. And I'm just gonna throw a suggestion out there that could be true, could not be true. What if it was Law from the Sonic Tales of the Werehog shorts? I've been seeing a lot of Law love and representation as of recently, and I think that it would make sense if they could be a character in the game. It would be quite an interesting pick. A lot of people seem to really like this character. I recently did a Halloween special, the Sonic Spooktacular, in which I talked about Law and some other ghosts in the Sonic universe. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to do that after this video. I worked kind of hard on it. I did some research on it and everything like that. So that is there after this video. But yeah, I could see Law coming in as an obscure Sonic character racer, along with Alex the Kid and also Ooh La La as the Sega racers. But it could honestly be a whole bunch of other characters as well. So with that being said, there's 3 other character slots. I think maybe 4 if these 2 Tangle Whisper count as 1 slot. There's some room for some more. I definitely can see that Mighty Armadillo could be a contender for being a free DLC character, iconic in the Sonic series. Sally Acorn is more of a generic pick at this point. Everyone's pretty familiar with her. I wouldn't be too happy if she got in. I think there's other comic or Sonic comic characters that probably have a cooler chance of being put into a game, but Sally Acorn can always be in there. I do want to see Tails Doll. I think the internet will literally break if Tails Doll gets in as a free DLC character for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. I just think it's a layup if they do that, because it's just kind of closing the whole thing. I think Tails Doll would be like the final free DLC character announced for this game. I really want Doom. I know I'm kind of just like spitting stuff out there, but I really think Black Doom would be a cool villain character to have in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. If not Black Doom, then another villain character like the Black Knight or something like that. But Black Doom is so iconic, and we recently got him in Shadow Generations. I just think out of relevancy, it would make more sense for him to be in. And yeah, I don't know about Classic Sonic. I feel like if Classic Sonic was going to be free DLC, they would have announced them with this first batch. I think a lot of fans, myself included, would be a little bit disappointed if towards the end of the run of rosters for free DLC, that's when he's announced and we get him. I feel like that's kind of like a wasted and whimpered opportunity. It's kind of a no-brainer that Classic Sonic could be in this. So I don't think he's going to be in it anymore. I could be wrong, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm trying to think of some other characters that I would kind of like to see in this roster. There's just so many. Like, I am very much more attuned to the video games, so like Mephiles, Chaos Zero, those are the characters that I lean towards for getting in as free DLC, but it's not a what I want, it's what's the reality or what is the possibility. And I really think right now the possibilities are endless for what we're getting. Who knows, maybe this is the only free DLC character that we're getting from an obscure, like, outside of video game Sonic media. We'll just have to wait and see. The fans seem to really enjoy this pick and really enjoy this announcement. I'm a little bit more just in the you know, middle. Like, it's great, it's good, I'm happy for everyone, but I personally don't know the characters enough to be jumping up and down. But it's very interesting because they're announcing these free DLC characters, and we're still slowly getting those third-party DLC characters in here. So we're going to be getting SpongeBob and Patrick in November. It is already November, so it's just in a few days, but they're slowly getting out the third-party characters. Mega Man will be next, or maybe it's Pac-Man next, I'm not quite sure. And then they still have to show off the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Avatar characters. So they're taking their time. They're not just unleashing everything at once, but they are announcing things quite quickly, which I am not too upset about. They want this game to stay relevant and to keep some traction. So yeah, you guys can let me know down in the comments, what do you think of these free DLC characters that were announced? Are you excited? Are you not that excited? What characters do you want to see in the upcoming announcement for free DLC characters, probably later in 2026? This will probably be like towards the half end of the year, 6 months into 2026. But yeah, I'd really like to hear your thoughts down below, and I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya!